Welcome back to the channel, guys. So this video is going to be a little bit different from what I normally do. This is a rant just about what's been going on in the fandom, particularly about a actress from the Kenobi show, Moses Ingram. I don't even know if I'm going to put this out. I'm kind of just rambling into the microphone. We'll see what comes of it. Seems like pretty good view bait, though. This is a pretty hot topic. If I'm a little bit toned down right now, it's for a couple of reasons. This is just kind of a serious video because I've been seeing a lot of bad stuff online surrounding the third sister in Kenobi, and I'm having a lot of cognitive dissonance. If you don't know what that means, I will put the definition up on the screen for you. Basically, it's like the thing that I believe isn't lining up with reality, essentially, and that's evoking an emotional reaction. And the reaction I'm having is annoyance and anger at quote-unquote my side. And what I mean by my side is this. I was not a fan of the sequel trilogy. Just in general, I did not like what they did with the legacy characters. I did not like what they did with the story. Didn't even like what they did with the new characters necessarily. Finn had a potential to be one of the greatest characters of all time. You know, the setup of him being a former stormtrooper turned good guy who happens to be force sensitive. I mean, you had all the makings of an awesome story for a Jedi right there. And they didn't do it. So I've got a lot of gripes with the sequel trilogy. Don't even get me started on The Last Jedi because I will start screaming if that happens. So just for some context, so you see where I'm coming from, I was of the side, you could probably call us the fandom menace. I considered myself a part of that. I did not like what Disney Star Wars was doing, and I made it known. But then they started shaping up. They made some really cool projects. We've got The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Book of Boba Fett was kind of a miss. It had a really good idea, but I think poor execution. Season 7 of Clone Wars, Bad Batch. I mean, like, these have all been fantastic for the most part. Basically, everything after the sequel trilogy has actually been pretty okay. But at this point, I kind of feel like there's a section of the fandom that would agree with me on the sequels who just can't seem to admit when Lucasfilm does right. Because they've done right several times, but it seems like every single thing they do is bad. Every single step they take is the wrong step, and no matter what they do to try to course correct, it's not enough. It's never good enough. No matter what they do, it's just not going to satisfy these people because they've built their entire reputation and image on hating Disney Star Wars. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. If they start saying nice things about it, they're not going to have an audience or a platform anymore. Which is funny because a lot of them will come at this from like the perspective of, oh, have your own opinion, you know, think for yourself. Don't just absorb all of the content that they're throwing at us. Just because it has Star Wars on it doesn't mean you have to like it. It's like, true, that's very true. But if it's good, I mean, admit that. You know what I mean? Don't lie to yourself and your audience and try to keep this charade going. It's dumb. It's really cringy, and when you can see right through it. And here's the thing, you can have your opinions about anything. You can have an opinion about Star Wars, the characters, the actors. Just be honest. I think that's all anybody really asks, is just for an honest opinion. Like, I hated the sequels in general. I like what Star Wars is doing right now. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the High Republic necessarily, but then again, that side of Star Wars hasn't exactly done a very good job of marketing and kind of pushing that product. Like, I know they've got some books and comics, but it's like, I really couldn't care less, honestly. Unless it starts in a movie, or not even starts, as long as they bring it to the big screen and like establish some characters and establish some lore, get viewers invested, you know, then I'll maybe go back and read some of the books and comments, the books and comics. Books and comments. Be reading your comments in this for sure. So bringing it all back to Kenobi and Moses Ingram, who's playing the third sister. Dude, what is wrong with some of you?
Who raised you?
Again, it's fine if you don't like the character. Like, that's totally cool. Personally, I'm a fan. She does her own stunts, which is huge for me. I really appreciate when an actor does their own stunts. I was watching, it was like a behind-the-scenes featurette of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and Willem Dafoe, who plays Green Goblin, like, he was adamant about always being in the suit. And like, they were talking about how when the suit goes on and the mask comes on, it's usually a stunt double from that point onward. But Willem Dafoe was like, no, I need to put my character in there and do what the Green Goblin is supposed to do because I am the Green Goblin, right? So the fact that she is able to embody the full aspect of that character, she's aggressive, she's brutal, she's acrobatic, like, that's who her character is. And in my opinion, Moses Ingram is killing it. That is I'm a fan. I'm really invested. That scene where she was questioning Owen, my heart was racing. Like, that was tense. That was really intense. I'm trying not to cuss here. I can't filter myself when I do this live. That's why I cut up and edit. Case in point, boys and girls. So yeah, Moses Ingram simp spotted. And hey, it's cool if you don't like the way the character is written. It's cool if you don't like the way she's being portrayed. Like, that I respect. But what I can't respect is going into the actress's DMs and saying unnecessary things. That's just inexcusable. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Everybody in my audience are gentlemen and scholars, and they would never do that. If you're new and you want to be a gentleman and a scholar, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're somebody who doesn't like her character, like, again, that's cool. I would just ask you to maybe ask yourself why. Because I'm seeing a lot of comments online, like, sort of saying why they don't like her, and I've seen stuff like, oh, she's over the top, or she's loud and she's aggressive. And I mean, in my mind, I'm just like, over the top. Like, have you seen Ian McDermott's Emperor Palpatine? Like, that dude is the embodiment of over the top, and he is universally loved. To be fair, he's earned it for sure. In terms of her being annoying, I mean, the way I see it, she's very one-track minded, and she's very focused on what her goal is, which is finding Obi-Wan. She's obsessed with it. I mean, that's all she thinks about. It's all she talks about. And when that's the only thing you think and talk about, like, people are gonna find you annoying. That goes for anybody. If you have a passion for something and it's all you think about, that gets annoying. Obviously not to you because you love the thing, but to anybody listening to you, they're like, yeah, all right, shut up. Probably what you're doing to this video right now. We get the point. It just seems where I'm looking at a motivated and interesting villain, other people are seeing an annoying, undeserving character almost, and it's just, that's where my cognitive dissonance is kicking in, because like, that's not what I see, but that's not what I see on the screen, but that's what I see other people saying, and it's just like, dude, like, am I crazy? Am I the one that's like got Disney goggles on right now? I don't think so. Like, I still hold true to what I think about the sequel trilogy. I think it was a poorly constructed mess that disrespected the legacy of Star Wars. At its core, it failed. It was a failure, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna just bash on anything else that Star Wars puts out. Anyway, I think you guys get my point. Think for yourselves. Don't be sheep. Moses Ingram, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. These chill rant videos are kind of fun, actually. If you guys want to hear this channel talk about just the Star Wars movies as well, or the shows, like, let me know in the comments below. So far, I've really only focused on the video games, but when there's a lull in the Star Wars video games, like, maybe we should talk about some of the actual Star Wars content. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Again, I don't even know if I'm going to put this out. We'll see.
Skywalker's training was clearly incomplete.